Okay, happy Friday and happy half term. You guys have worked really hard this half term with your reading, so well done. It's our last day today on our poetry unit, our short poetry unit from this week. And the poem we're going to read today is The Sea. It's called The Sea. As always, pause the poem when it comes on the screen and then unpause it for me to read it, but have a go yourselves. The Sea by James Reeves. The sea is a hungry dog, giant and grey. He rolls on the beach all day. With his clashing teeth and shaggy jaws, hour upon hour he gnaws the rumbling, tumbling stones. And bones, 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 the giant sea dog moans, licking his greasy paws. And when the night wind roars and the moon rocks in the stormy cloud, he bounds to his feet and snuffs and sniffs, shaking his wet sides over the cliffs, and howls and hollows long and loud. But on quiet days in May or June, when even the grasses on the dune play no more their reedy tune, with his head between his paws he lies on the sandy shores, so quiet he scarcely snores. Okay, so we've got 3 stanzas, 3 verses in that poem. And guys, it's really important, you might have noticed, it's really important for this one to get someone else to read it to you, or to hear to watch a video online of someone reading it, because everyone reads it differently. But with poems, it's really important to remember, especially ones that don't kind of flow as much as perhaps ones like The Shadow that we looked at yesterday. Okay, that's got quite a rhythm and quite a beat to it. These ones haven't necessarily. Okay, the stanzas are different lengths. You've got quite a lot of punctuation, so just use what you know about punctuation. If you can see a comma, like here, pause. If you see a full stop, stop. Okay, so you wouldn't read that. The sea is a hungry dog, giant and grey. Okay, you'd read it as, the sea is a hungry dog, giant and grey, because it's a comma. It's just like a sentence. Okay, 5 questions today. So what does the metaphor in the poem compare the sea to? That's quite an easy one. You should know that one from listening to the poem and having read it yourself. Why do you think the poet chose personification to describe the sea? Which 3 adjectives describe the dog? You just need to list those in a list. In which stanza, so which verse, is the sea most dangerous? Which words make us think this? So what vocabulary has the poet used to make us think this? And question 5, what do you think the line shaking his wet sides over the cliffs about the dog means? Okay, so question 1, what does the metaphor in the poem compare the dog to? Well, the title is the sea, okay, but our first sentence, our first line, or the first 2 lines of the poem tell us that. So the sea is a hungry dog. So the metaphor compares the sea to a hungry dog, would be your answer. Question 2. Why do you think the poet chose personification to describe the sea? Okay. Well, the personification used presents the sea, I guess, this is my opinion anyway as the reader, it presents the sea in a lively and playful way. Okay. It also tells us that the sea is affected by the weather and the seasons, because you can see in stanza 3 that the sea is a lot quieter. Okay, so I think it portrays, the personification portrays how an animal might behave in different seasons, okay, how it might behave at different times of the day depending on what was going on. So I think it's used really, really well by the poet in this case. List 3 adjectives. Oh, which 3 adjectives describe the dog? The 3 are, we've got hungry, we've got giant, and we've got grey. Those are our 3 adjectives. So those are the 3 you should have written on your list. Question 4, in which stanza is the sea most dangerous? Which words make us think this? Have a quick read through again if you haven't already, and think about it. Okay, so the answer is stanza or verse number 2. Okay, stanza 3, it's very calm. Okay, we've got the words quiet, and again we've got quiet, sandy shores. It makes us think it's quite calm and quite tranquil. Okay, here we have got when the night wind is weather, isn't it? That's not like sun, or it's not calm. It makes us think that something's whipping up, okay? And the word roars really kind of builds that image in our head as the reader. The moon rocks in the stormy cloud. Okay, so all of this vocabulary used by the poet has been used for effect, okay, to make us think that the sea is being quite rough during that evening. The fact that it's night time as well. It's not in the day. It will be dark. We paint this picture in our head of a dark beach, which might come across as quite scary as well. Okay, we've got shaking, we've got howls and hollows, okay, and we've got loud. So all of that vocabulary builds up a picture in this stanza that the sea is quite dangerous during that time. In your last question, why do you think the line, or what do you think the line shaking his wet sides over the cliffs means? Okay, so that was in stanza 2 as well. Let's find it. So it's talking about the dog. Okay, it's using that metaphor again. Okay, shaking his wet sides over the cliffs. If you've got a dog, you know if he's been in the river, or if he's been for a swim, or in the bath, or under the hose pipe, or in the paddling pool, that when he shakes off, or when she shakes off, water goes everywhere. Okay, so we're talking about the dog shaking his wet sides over the cliffs. What do you think that means in terms of when we're thinking about the sea? Yeah, so shaking his wet sides over the cliffs. So if you think the cliffs, we're on the coast here, we're at the beach, we're on the coast. We know, we've just talked about how stanza 2 is quite a rough stanza. It makes us picture this dangerous and dark sea, okay, with big waves, okay. Wet sides over the cliffs makes me think that the waves are breaking and they're going up really high. So high that they're spraying over the cliffs. Okay. Well done today, guys.
Hi class 4, I'm going to go over your do it and secure it from yesterday, and then we're going to have a quiz. Woohoo! Okay, so you needed to look at the graph which was showing the plant growth between January and July, and then at the side it got the height in centimetres. So your first question asked you how tall was the plant when it was measured in May. Okay, so you should have gone up here with May and across, and you would have got that it was 60 centimetres. Okay, in what month did the plant first reach 50 centimetres? So if we go here, that's 50, and we're going across, we will see that it was April. Okay, how many centimetres did the plant grow between March and July? So in March, it was here, it was 40, and in July, it was all the way to 100, and 100 take away 40 is 60 centimetres. Then it asked what was the difference between the height of the plant in February and the height of the plant in April. Okay, so if we just have a look here, so February was 20 and April it was 50, and the difference between 20 and 50 is of course 30. Well done if you got those. If you didn't and you're still not sure why, just send me an email because I'm more than happy to go through it with you. If you then moved on to your Do It Extra challenge, you needed to create a story to match the graph. Now, obviously, this could be anything suitable, but I've done one just to give you an idea of the sort of thing that would have worked. So, at 9 AM, we left home to travel to our holiday home. At 9:30 AM, we stopped to get petrol and some snacks. We were back on the road at 9:45 AM and travelled until 10:30 AM when we arrived. Okay, so I've looked there at when the car has stopped. Yeah. When we're travelling, how far we're going, and again when we have stopped. Okay, so anything like that would have worked. And finally, for your secure it said, in which hour is it most likely that the family stopped for a break? Explain your answer. And obviously that was between hours 2 and 3. And we know this because that is where it stops. It doesn't travel anymore. It doesn't increase. It doesn't decrease. It is just flat. There is no difference there. So they have stopped for a break. Okay, so let's go on to our Year 4 statistics quiz. Okay guys, so I'll do the same as I did last time. I'll go through the questions, write down your answers, and then we'll go through the answers at the end. So pause me if you need longer. There's no rush. Okay, so question 1. How many more children preferred football to athletics? Was it A, 12, B, 7, C, 5, or D, 9? Question 2. How many children voted altogether? Was it A, 35, B, 18, C, 32, or D, 19? Question 3. How many metres did the ball drop between 0 and 5 seconds? Is it A, 14 metres, B, 80 metres, C, 50 metres, or D, 19 metres? Question 4. How many cars and trains were seen altogether? A, 45, B, 49, C, 13, or D, 55? Question 5. What is the difference between the distance most travelled and the distance least travelled? Is it A, 7 kilometres, B, 9 kilometres, C, 13 kilometres, or D, 8 kilometres? Question 6. This shows how many people visit a skiing chalet throughout the year. How many people visited altogether in the 2 busiest months? A, 38, B, 20, C, 40, or D, 36? Question 7. How many more sunflowers than runner beans are there in a bag? A4, B3, C2, or D1? Question 8. What is the difference between the coldest and the hottest temperature? A2, B28, C9, or D19? Okay, so question 1 asked you how many more children preferred football to athletics. Athletics is here at 7, football's at 12, so the difference is 5. So if you put C, give yourself a big tick. The next one, how many children voted altogether? So we'll count them. So we've got 2, because remember one circle is 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 33, 34, 35, because obviously they're the halves. So if you put A, 35, give yourself a big tick. Okay, so how many metres did the ball drop between 0 and 5? So it started at 100 metres, and then at 5 metres, it was across there. At 50 metres, the difference between 100 and 50 is 50. So if you put 50 metres, give yourself a big tick. Okay, then for this question, you're asked how many cars and trains were seen altogether. So you're looking here at the car and here at the train. So we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. So if you put B, 49, give yourself a big tick. So question 5, what is the difference between the distance most travelled and the distance least travelled? Okay, so we're looking at the most, so that's up here at 8, and then the least. Now, some of you might well have gone for this one down here, which is at 0, and have gone for D. However, they didn't travel that week. It was 0. They didn't travel at all. So actually, the least amount of time travelled was here at your 1 kilometre. So the answer was actually A, 7 kilometres. Bit of a trick one there. Sorry, guys. And then question 6. So this shows how many people visited a skiing chalet throughout the year. How many people visited altogether in the 2 busiest months? So our 2 busiest months are here. They're the tallest ones, October and November. They're both at 20. So 20 add 20 is, of course, 40. So if you put C40, give yourself a big tick. Okay, question 7. How many more sunflowers than runny beans are there in a bag? So each seed represents 4 seeds or bulbs. So if we look first of all at our sunflowers, we've got 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 27, because there's 3 there. Okay, then our runner beans, we've got 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. That obviously counts as 1, 25. So if you put C2, give yourself a big tick. And finally, what is the difference between the coldest and the hottest temperature? So the coldest temperature is down here at 19 and the hottest temperature is up here at 28. Now the difference between 19 and 28 is of course 9. So if you've put 9, give yourself a big tick. Just want to take this moment, guys, just to say have a lovely half term. Enjoy your time off. Spend it with your family. Do some nice fun things. You've got no learning videos next week, so take the time and enjoy it. And you'll have me back the week after half term with your learning videos, and we'll get lots more done. Any problems or anything, just send me an email. I'm here to help. Have a lovely time. I'm missing you all loads, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.
Morning everybody, welcome to Writing for Friday the 22nd of May, the last writing session that we've got for this half term. So it's a bit of something different, a bit of something fun and entertaining for you today. We're going to start off with our its or its. This is our last day of doing this, so I'm hoping that we're all sorted with it now and we really understand that it is needs an apostrophe, but it's, if it belongs to somebody, doesn't. So I want you to copy each sentences, choose its or its to complete them, and then come back to me with the answers. So to this today we've got, it's been a wonderful holiday. I love rugby because it's fun. And the goat looked at its horns, okay? So put the right its in, copy out the sentences, and then come back to me when you're ready for the answers. Okay, brilliant. Let's have a little look at which it's we need to be using today. So if we're going it's been a wonderful holiday, it will be it has been a wonderful holiday. So because we're missing letters, we're missing parts of the words, it has an apostrophe because it's a contraction. So it apostrophe S, okay? I love rugby because it's fun. Can we replace the it's with it is, and does it make sense? Let's check. I love rugby because it is fun. Yes, we can. So it's with an apostrophe. And the goat looked at its horns. The horns belong to the goat, so it's no apostrophe because it's all about belonging to or possession. I hope we've managed to really get into that this week and really understand the difference. It's really important that we now use what we've learned, use what we know, and apply that now into our writing as we go through. Okay, so today, like I said, we're going to have a little bit more fun. I'm going to show you an information text. It's not your usual information text. So I want you to have a little think as we're looking through it. What is the text? What's the information about? And who do you think might have written it and why have they written it? Here goes. Okay, so Hogwarts School Report. Name, Neville Longbottom. Age, 11. House, Gryffindor. Attendance, 100%. General behaviour. Neville is a shy boy who tries his hardest, although sometimes his clumsiness and lack of focus detracts from his learning. He is particularly close with his pet toad Trevor, which is good, as he sometimes struggles to make friends. Potions. Neville lacks attention to detail, and unfortunately there is always a worry that he will hurt himself or others in my lessons. He is one of my least capable students. Transfiguration. Neville finds this area difficult, and he has even been unable to transfigure the simplest of items into a small animal. Charms. Neville lacks confidence in this subject, but he is enthusiastic and has a talent if he can practice more and more and master basic charms. History of magic. Neville struggles with this subject. I would suggest extra homework to get up to speed with goblin rebellions of the 17th and 18th century. Herbology. Neville shows real potential in herbology. He shows a good understanding of the subject. Keep up the good work, Neville. Care of magical creatures. Neville is a very caring young man, and he clearly loves animals, although his lack of confidence can make the animals nervous and unpredictable. Defence against the dark arts. As yet, Neville has shown little promise, although given that his parents were both Auroras, we would expect him to flourish in this area at some point, hopefully. Sports. Neville has tried very hard, but he has failed to master the art of flying on a broomstick, even breaking a wrist, so as yet he has not taken part in any Quidditch games. House points, -3. Pupil comments, I do try my hardest, but I always seem to end up doing something wrong. It is hard following in my fair parents' footsteps. Head of house comments. From his teacher's comments, it is clear that Neville tries very hard. He clearly struggles in certain areas despite this. However, with a bit more focus and maturity, he would do well in the coming years. Okay, so let's think about what we were looking for. What is this text? What is it? Absolutely right. It's a school report. So it's the kind of thing that gets sent out at the end of the year to sum up your year of learning. So it's a school report. What is the information about? What is history of magic, herbology, care of magical creatures, defence against the dark arts? Yeah, absolutely right. They're all the different subjects that they would study in Hogwarts, in the wizard school, okay? So these are the different subjects. So like we might have English or maths or science or topic, these are the different lessons that they have. And who do you think has written this? Yeah, absolutely. So it's the teachers that have written most of this, although there was this little section, wasn't there, here, which Neville's written himself, okay? The pupil comments. Okay. So why do they write this text? What are they doing? Okay, so they're giving Neville a summary of what he's learned about that year. They're giving him an idea about how he's getting on. But mostly it's for the person who looks after Neville, so his parents, so they can find out how he's getting on at school. So, what do I want you to do with this today? It's a bit of a time to show what you know. I want you to have a little bit of fun with this, okay? So, I'd like you to write a school report for Harry Potter and use the format that we looked at for Neville, okay? You could do that, okay? So you could just write the same thing, but for Harry Potter, and then decide what he was like in all the different lessons, okay? You could pretend to be your teacher, Miss Cunnington or Miss Foster, and write your own school report for this year, okay? So what would your teachers say about you in English? What might they say about you in maths? What might they say about you in PE? Or, if you want something really funny and entertaining to do, you could write a school report for somebody else, like your mum or your dad, or even Miss Foster or Miss Cunnington, okay? So imagine what they were like when they were at school. Try and think about whether they were good or whether you think they were a little bit cheeky or a little bit naughty in their lessons, and imagine that you're writing a school report for them. So today you're the teachers and you're writing the reports, and you are going to write the report either for Harry Potter or for you, or for your mum, your dad, your teacher, maybe your brother or your sister, anybody that you'd like to write a report for, and make that as funny and as entertaining as possible. And we would, as always, love, love, love to see what you've written, particularly if you've written a report for Miss Cunnington or Miss Foster, because I would love to see what you've written for them. So have fun with this today. Lots and lots of little sections, all about the different subjects that they've been doing, a bit of an overall comment, and then enjoy your weekend, okay? Come back to me once you've done that and we'll go through the final weekday of Connected Curriculum. Okay, so the last little bit today is our Connected Curriculum. This is the last day of sculpture, so if you want to have a go at one of these activities, today is the day to do it. Remembering that you've got your essential activity with all of the different elements that you can have an explore of, and then lots and lots of sculpting activities with tinfoil, with natural materials, with clay and with cardboard, and a research challenge if you would like to have a go at them. That's the end of our learning for this half term. It has been amazing to explore this with you. We've had a wonderful, wonderful time. I hope you're okay and you've kept yourselves nice and safe. We're really looking forward to seeing you all back at school really, really soon. But in the meantime, have a wonderful, wonderful half term holiday. Enjoy, and we shall see you again after the break. Thanks, guys. Bye.